don't know if they know that tire off. They gotta know. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Grant's Lawn Care. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning, because that's what it is. April the 12th here, Saturday morning. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Hopefully the sound and clarity is coming through pretty clear, because as I mentioned on a couple videos back, I bought a wireless microphone and I'm going to give it a try. So bear with me as I'm learning the ins and outs of it, and hopefully this content comes through crisp and clear. But today's video is going to be just a little bit different. The property that I'm servicing is going to be yours truly, my own property. And I must say it is my least favorite property. Reason being, because I still have to do it. I don't have anybody that, I have coming out to mow my lawn. It's just the way it is. But oh well, it must be done just like the rest of them. And we're going to get it done here this Saturday morning. There were other plans that were, supposed to be taking place this morning, but things changed and it is what it is. Life happens. So we're going to get out here and instead and do some work. So today I am going to be using my Craftsman push mower to do part of my yard. Just to do part of it. I'm not doing the whole thing. Push mowing, just don't feel like it. I have before in the past, but just not today. So what I am going to mow with it will be the front yard, and the rest with what you can see here in the background with the Scag to knock it on out. But I feel like I need to do just a little bit of a workout, and what more of a way to get a small workout than with a push mower. I don't even know if this thing, it should crank. I haven't ran it in a while, and to be honest with you, I really haven't even had a need to use a push mower. I don't push mow many properties at all. The ones that I used to push mow in the past, I just don't have them anymore. There is one particular yard that I have that I can push mow in a certain area of it, because it is water prone. It loves to hold water in one spot, and as everyone knows, hopefully you know, that using a zero turn in a saturated yard is definitely not the best thing to do. You can get stuck, for number one, and number two, I think, my opinion personally, those ugly tracks that you can leave in a property, because the tires are trying to get traction on the yard and you're just going to slide side to side. You can fix them, but I mean, it's nothing more to me worse than just leaving those ugly tracks on the yard. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you all the blade. Like I said, I haven't used this mower in a good while now, and blade ain't in bad shape. The original blade that came on the mower is not the sharpest, and it's not super dull. It is dull, I will say that, but I think it'll get the job done for what I have to tackle this morning. So I'll give you guys a quick walkthrough of the part of the property that I'm going to mow with this push mower, and we're going to get started. Just check a few more things on it before we do get started. Definitely going to need some gas in it. Oil, I'm pretty sure it's good on oil, because like I said, I have not used this thing. Wow. Yep, full to the proper mark on the oil stick. Just need a little bit of go-go juice, the liquid gold, and we'll be on our way. Like I said, I'll give you a quick walk around of the front, and we're gonna get it knocked out. This is not my ideal can to use for filling up push mowers, because great can, don't get me wrong, but it fills up pretty fast and it's heavy. So try not to waste any of this liquid gold at the prices that it is today. In my area, we bounce around from the 250s to the 270s. In that mark, we haven't gotten back to 3 just yet. So we're fortunate to stay around the 2 and some change mark with gas, unleaded gas, the basic unleaded gas 87 that is. So let's do a quick walk around to the front and we're gonna get started. So this is the front, what I'm going to push. As you can see, weeds, good bit of grass is coming on in. Excuse that bird in the background. I cannot stand, not absolutely 100% hate those weeds right there. But as you can see, front yard is pretty decent size. But I'm going to push mow it just to show you all that I am not beyond push mowing. So I'm just, more so blessed to have properties that I can get my skag in 99% of the time, get the work done. But my own property, like I said, sometimes just for a workout, I'll get that push mower, I'll go to work. So here's a quick glance. Again, excuse Casey, she is just all over me as normal every day. She's gonna disappear as soon as that mower starts. But all of that I'm gonna take care of with the push mower. So you can see it is quite a decent size yard to push mow. Probably gonna take me about 20-25 minutes. I am not gonna film that whole thing. I'm gonna break it down and put it into as short of a video as I possibly can. Show you this side here. If you did take glances of the front where the mulch beds are, pay those no mind. That was a failed project and we had flooding come through here about a year ago, and it got so high it washed out all of my mulch and everything. Complained to the state about it and they said that there's nothing they can do. So we're gonna get started. Hopefully this microphone's working good, so stay tuned. So obviously this is a lawn care channel, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I can go on and on, along with many others on YouTube, on and on about different things with lawn care. A lot of the topics are, wash, rinse, repeat, and the experiences that we go through on a weekly basis with lawn care. So I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna change it up a little bit, and I'm gonna go in this direction because I just was thinking as I was mowing, and of course I said this is Saturday morning, but I want to bring back some memory lane, some nostalgia for some of you all. So back in the early 2000s, the late 90s, I was a kid then, going into teenage era. I vividly remember my Saturday mornings as clear as day. Of course, Saturdays or Friday nights, depending on where you were or what your habits were. Friday nights after school, that was skate station night. You go to the skating rink, or you had your little teenage spots where you go and have a good time and listen to some music and catch up with your classmates outside of a school setting, etc. You go and have a good time, forget about schoolwork, and enjoy your Friday night. Well, for me, on Saturdays, when all of the family was off work more than likely, we would wake up on Saturday mornings, and I say we, me, myself personally as a kid, I would wake up on Saturday mornings straight to the Cartoon Channel. I did not waste any time because it was just something about those Saturday morning cartoons that were just a little bit different feeling than watching them during the week, because more than likely during the week you had a curfew, you had to go to bed by a certain time for school. But on those Saturday mornings, you can get up, you can watch all your shows, your cartoons, whatever you wanted to catch up on, and that was the start of your Saturday morning. Well, for me on Saturday mornings, it was cartoons. You get washed up, then your family was ready to go out, go to town. you're grocery shopping and you're going out to eat. And one of my most favorite memories growing up was going to the flea market. And for those of you who don't know about a flea market, going to a swap meet. That was some good times back then. And there's still some flea markets around. Unfortunately, one of my favorite ones was torn down a couple of years ago. They just lost interest of the public to a degree, and they ended up clearing out the whole lot. Now the lot's vacant. But you just never knew what you were going to see at a flea market. I used to go with my grandparents, and we used to go with an empty car and come back with all kinds of different stuff that people were selling. And like I told you all before, my granddad was a small engines mechanic by trade. Never went to school for it. It was just something he did. And everybody used to bring their mowers to the house during the week. Well, on Saturdays, he would go to the flea market, and if he saw a lawnmower or something that he wanted, had enough funds to get it, he'd bring another lawnmower home. And if somebody brought their lawnmower to the house and he couldn't fix it, it was too far gone, he would sell him that lawnmower or give it to him. However, my granddaddy just had a heart of gold. To know him, you would have loved him. But, skipping forward, after we would leave the flea market, we would go downtown, make a few pit stops downtown in the main part of the district, whatever we had to do in the middle of town. And then one of my last stops, our last stops, was going out to eat. And a lot of you, I'm pretty sure the older ones are going to say, I remember those restaurants. And some of them may still exist. I just don't know. I don't live in everybody's area, travel much to tell you. But we would go to Ryan's. We would go to Golden Corral. We would go to Western Sizzling. We would go to a place called Halls. It just all depends on what area we went into to go to the flea markets. The majority of the flea markets that are in my area now, they're about 45 minutes to an hour away over in Columbia, South Carolina. So we don't quite frequently nowadays, go. When I say we, I mean more so me and the family that's still here, because my grandparents have, since gone to be in heaven. But that's the closest to flea markets we have, is going over there. And then we have one in Florence. All of them, like I say, are about 45 minutes to an hour away. And they still have a lot of interesting things. The one or two times that I do get to go, they still have a lot of interesting things that people bring out there to sell that they don't need or want anymore. And you can go out there and get it for a deal. And lawn equipment is something that you can find a lot out there. Clothing, a lot of cell phone accessories, all kinds of things at a flea market. You go out there, it's almost like going to a big inside, box store, but only everything's on the outside. But those are some of my vivid, memories from Saturdays. And after you were done with town, you come home, you unload the cars, take all your stuff in the house from what you bought. Me, it was more so toys. And I was big on yo-yos back in the day. I used to love yo-yos. And the flea market was the perfect place for me to go and get a yo-yo. And I never was a big fan of like the wooden style yo-yos. I was also more into the plastic ones, the ones that lit up. And I was always trying to learn new yo-yo tricks, and I never really got too good at it, but it was just a hobby that I ended up picking up as a kid, and I lost it, of course, the older you get. But that's just some of the memories that I have from growing up on Saturdays back in the day. And just to go forward to Sundays from back in the day, you wake up on Sunday morning, back in my growing up days, your grandparents, your older folks would have Sunday dinner started on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night. They'll start Sunday dinner. So more so on Sunday, you either cook the main meats or whatnot, the rice and everything. And, once you get out of church or whatever you do on Sundays, by dinner time or supper time, whatever you want to call it, hey, the food's pretty much done. And Saturday nights and Sundays, Saturday nights was still hanging out with your family. Sundays was church or whatever you do on Sundays. And you eat a big dinner and you relaxed all that Sunday. And the family, friends, people used to stop by more frequently back in the day. But a lot of that's changed depending on your family. A lot of things have changed from back then to now. But, Sundays, after dinner, everybody's resting, relaxing in their own zone. My granddad would go outside, and work on small engines and do little things around. He used to have a garden. you know, just a lot of hobbies and habits that he used to have that we used to really enjoy doing on the weekends. But I hope this, you know, opens everyone up to sharing some things in my comment section, that is, on what your weekends used to be like back when you were growing up. Now we're all adults, and a lot of us have to work straight through the weekend. Don't have even a break, you know. But hopefully this, you know, makes you think back, bring back some great memories, and just taking this in just a little bit of a different direction. Just want to know what your Saturdays and Sundays consisted of, and I'll just say again, from the late 90s through the early 2000s, before things started to change. And I don't have to go through a time frame and start to say when things changed, but I'll say when technology started becoming a bigger and more open and easy access tool that we can use, you would see a big shift in the generations. So let me know the completion. Look at them stripes. And man, the sun came out. Perfect time to showcase this. Like I said, don't push mow much. If I do push mow, good 99% of the time is my yard. About a small amount of time of that, I'm push mowing the whole thing, like the entire yard. But a lot of times when I want to work out, or just a good, quick, you can say cardio session, I'll just push mow my own yard. You know, felt good this morning. The sun's out, so it's warmed up just a little bit compared to what it was when I first came out here and started mowing. But other than that, didn't have any pauses. The grass was a little bit wet, but as you will see in the video, didn't stop that little push mower from doing its thing. Like I say, it's of the Craftsman brand. Not 100% sure what height I was cutting on. If I had to guess, it was around maybe 2 inches, might be a little lower. I don't have the paperwork to tell me, you know, which click in the deck raising handles is what height. But as you can see, it did an amazing job. And I hate that I had to drive across the lawn to move the vehicles because it messed up my striping, but you get the picture. This is Simon from Grant's Lawn Care. Thank y'all for watching. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace. This is, again, new to me. I got this off of Al Smith's channel, All About the Biz, down in Jacksonville. This microphone is something that he uses. This is pretty much his, stilo and how he creates his videos. So this is an adjustment for me. Like I told him, I'm not used to bringing a microphone with me. All I'm used to bringing is a tripod and a phone and doing voiceover. So this is, again, different. This is what he's been doing. I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to copy how he does his content, but we all at the end of the day set up a tripod or set our phone somewhere and stand in front of a camera and bring our audience some type of content. So hopefully this works out for me. Again, I'm not going to have it with me every time I go out and mow, but I'm going to try to just utilize it. It's another tool, and it's something I think will help with great content. So thank you all for checking out the channel. Simon from Grant's Lawn Care. Catch you on the next one. And I think I have finalized my new business name. As I mentioned in a video before, I'm thinking about changing my name on my business, and I have one strongly in mind, so stay tuned, don't miss out, because maybe this week, it might be next week, one of these videos is going to come out, and I hope everyone enjoys it. So, Simon from Grant's Lawn Care, checking out here. Enjoy your weekend. Peace. Thank you all for tuning in to Grant's Lawn Care. Y'all be safe. Peace.